is Marjorie Tuner Hollman. Welcome to Finding Easy Walks wherever you are. We're on the Snett Trail in Bellingham, the Center Street parking, and the start of the trail. We have with us Tony Da Silva from the Franklin Bellingham Rail Trail Committee, and they are trail stewards and trail enthusiasts and encouragers, doing trail cleanups, trail projects, all sorts of wonderful things. Today on the Snett Rail Trail we have a story walk, and we're going to go check and see the story walk. So come along with us, and I'm going to put my mask on so we can walk a little more freely as people go by, because we're going to have people passing us as we go. So come along. Welcome to the Story Walk, created by Ann Ferguson. Yes, okay, because it's a trademark. It's a trademark idea. So we've got all along the trail here. We're going to come and read the book together. All right.
Yeah, on the Snett Trail, we put the Story Walk up once a month. Usually it's up for 5 or 6 days. Here it's not permanent. As I said, we do it for 5 or 6 days a month depending on the weather, and it's really designed to help families get together and get outdoors. It's designed for young families in particular. If the child's old enough, they can read it themselves. If they can't, the parents read it to them. And during COVID, we get a lot of people out here when we have the storybook walk.
Great.
So it's been real popular. We started it about 6 months ago, and now we continue it on a monthly basis. Hopefully we can do it through the winter.
Terrific, thank you.
And the books are selected by the library.
Oh, all right. The Franklin Library?
Yeah, we work with the Franklin Library.
Okay.
And we work with the Story Walk Corporation that also gives us ideas.
Excellent, excellent. All right, well, here's our first page. The Golden Acorn. Okay.
You have to get prepared for the winter, whether you're talking about squirrels or whether you're talking about crickets and grasshoppers. So it gives the parents an opportunity to tell the children about nature and the outdoors.
Wonderful. Oh, okay. And these are weatherproof, so
Yes.
they're not going to get soggy, and
Right.
that's terrific.
The
Okay.
pages on storybook walks are all laminated.
Yeah.
So as Marjorie is saying, so they can withstand the weather and they can withstand rain. As you said, here they're not permanent, but as Marjorie mentioned, in some of the other trails, there are actually permanent posts. So
Right.
it's a much more sophisticated demonstration of the storybook walk. Here we use these temporary little posts just to put up the pages.
Oh, yeah.
And when we have them up
Okay.
for the week, one of us on the trail comes out and usually checks it daily to make sure that that the pages are up.
That's a huge commitment on a volunteer committee to do that.
It keeps us busy.
Yeah, well, thank you. It
Yep.
really makes a difference. You notice when those things don't happen. You don't notice when everything goes right and are done the way they're supposed to be. But it's when they don't happen that when you see trail maintenance not happening, and you see trail, trees across the trail, trash on the trail, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
That's when you notice what doesn't happen. Oh, this is cute. This is very cute.
Right. So a parent would stop here with their child, and the parent would either read the page to them, or if the child's old enough, the child would read it themselves, and then they would talk about what's happening. Here the stories. Squirrels getting prepared for winter.
Not exactly, like us too.
Like us.
The Holliston Rail Trail over in Holliston, Massachusetts, has a permanent story walk on their rail trail. Foxborough YMCA has a story walk on their grounds at the Foxborough Hockomock YMCA. The North Attleboro Fish Hatchery has one around their pond. And then these Moose Hill Wildlife Sanctuary, Audubon Moose Hill Wildlife Sanctuary has a permanent installation there as well. Those are just right nearby. that are, but you can go on to the website for the, this is based on in
Right,
the New Hampshire Library.
right, right.
So this is great. Let's keep walking.
We would love to have a permanent one. We need some funding in order to get
Right.
the posts mounted on a permanent basis.
Yeah.
And then it'd be much easier for us, because the big problem we have is taking these up, or putting these in and then taking them up, every week when we put them up.
Oh, really?
And these aren't that weatherproof. They do tend to blow because
Yeah.
the
Oh, well,
stakes
that's
are very, very thin.
We just had that microburst, and
Yes.
Renata said she was worried about them.
We took them down. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. The materials to do a permanent one.
Are relatively expensive for
Well,
us.
have you looked into cultural council grants?
We have, in fact, we have a cultural council grant now. In fact, this Sunday, we're probably going to be putting up about 18 signs on trees. We got it as part of a grant that we applied for a year ago. And what we're going to be doing is identifying 18 varieties or 18 species of trees starting on Grove Street heading this way.
Oh, nice.
And that was
Okay.
through an interpretive science grant.
Okay. All right. But I'm saying for literacy, this would actually fall into the Franklin Cultural Council has funds that they would be
Right.
welcome to use.
We are familiar with those good folks, and they have contributed to our trail, and we are not shy about asking them for
Great.
funds for next year.
Great. Very, very fun. Page by page.
Yeah. We do about 400 or 500 yards of pages on this flat portion of the trail, because many of the people that come here are usually young mothers with toddlers or even children in carriages. So we need a trail that's relatively flat and well maintained.
Exactly.
And we also don't go very far, so they actually can get to the end of the book before
I
they
know.
tire out.
Oh, I know. That's wonderful. Oh, I thought of another. There's actually another story walk at the Lane Homestead in Foxborough on North Street.
I know North Street, but I haven't been on that one.
Oh, it's
I
a
missed it.
lovely property. It leads out to the Neponset Reservoir. Oh,
It's good to see that the people walking the trail this morning have masks on.
that's really encouraging
It
because
is.
I have not seen that. I've been really dismayed. Part of what's kept a. Good
Morning.
morning.
How
How
are
are
you?
Good,
Good.
Paul. Nice to see you.
Enjoy the walk.
Yeah, that's what has kept us away from some rail trails is that people aren't wearing masks. I think that's part of what I've really missed with this pandemic is we usually would have conversations, and so many people aren't wearing masks because they say, well, I'm outdoors, but you see it's not always possible on a rail trail to keep 6 feet, and if that's enough.
Yep.
So, oh, look at this. So, no, very, very nice. Nicely done.
Yeah, they, obviously the library chooses age-appropriate books, and I said we try to get them to match the season, so
Oh,
the
that's
parents
great.
not only can read to the child, but they can also talk about the outdoors and what it means with the changing of the seasons. Fall is such a pretty time to be here. The leaves are changing. We did one last month was about the leaves changing, so that was really pretty. I forgot the title of the book.
But that's half of the challenge is finding appropriate books.
The library is great at helping.
Because, you can do just any children's book, but you're out in nature and you'd like to take advantage of the correlation. Where are you? And, okay, we got squirrel and tortoise and, a squirrel getting in trouble, of course.
Of course.
That's it.
Squirrels do, if you've ever had squirrels in your attic.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, now the trail looks pretty empty,
open.
so once we got the walking club passed, I bet when we get back to the parking lot there won't be all those people.
Exactly.
I didn't know what had happened, but
Well, we got some people behind us, quite a few.
oh gosh, you're right. Yeah,
The trail does get used. Actually, the pandemic has really increased the volume on the trail. As I said, most of us on the committee, there's always somebody on the trail once a day. And we try to keep track of how many people we actually see to see what the utilization is. And we've noticed, since the springtime, when people started staying home, and then couple of months of that. They're just cooped up and looking a way to get outside, and this is a nice, easy, safe walk.
Well, we've
So
done a
you get
lot
everybody here.
to make the trails visible, and that's made a huge difference.
That's part of
That people didn't know where to go
right.
before. So, you know, increasing the visibility, showing where safe parking is. I don't want my car to be towed.
No.
So, you know, I want to know that it's a place that is okay where I can park. And rail trails, when they are finished, when they're marked, they fit the bill
Exactly.
for people that most of us don't know where all our local trails are.
Right, and most people don't know, and even if they do know, they don't know what the quality of the trail is. They don't know if
Exactly.
it's handicapped accessible.
Right.
They don't know if there's parking. They don't know if they're going to feel safe if it's in deep woods.
Right.
So
Right.
we try to get all that information out as often as possible. But as you know,
Yeah.
Marjorie, you have to keep telling people.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to say it more than once.
Well, yeah, but that's really what got me writing my books, was that people didn't know where to go.
Right.
And I saw a need, and you know, if you're in a tourist area like the Cape or the White Mountains or the Berkshires, there's lots of books that are written about those, but we're just South Central Massachusetts. It's a gorgeous area. We're really lucky to live here, but it doesn't have the cachet of a tourist area.
Exactly.
And so there haven't been the books. I looked,
Yeah.
and there really haven't been books saying, here's where you find trails. And so I said, I think I can write one. And so I did, the first book. And then to help publicize that book, I ended up, before I knew it, I'd gotten a second book written. And now the 3 books that I worked with, also the 10 Mile River Watershed, by
Yeah.
total, that's 37 communities
That it passes
that,
through, yeah.
that I've got, the books are documented. And then now, Finding Easy Walks Wherever You Are, the book tells you, how do we do that? How did I find all of those trails? And what are the things you need to think about while you're on the trail? What are the clothes? It's fall. I'm wearing my blaze orange.
And you're well, and people
And
can see you.
I might be mistaken for a pumpkin. But you're going to know that I'm here on the trail.
One of the things that I really appreciate about your books is it talks about where to park your car, which is always a big question.
Yeah.
And it also gives you an idea about the quality of the trail. Your books are easy trails. And for most people, that's what they're looking for. I mean, if you look at a population of 100 people, there may be 2 or 3 serious hikers, but the other 95% of the people, if they want to go out, they want to know that it's an easy trail, that it's handicapped accessible, that they can take a baby carriage on it or a bicycle on it.
Well, I pay attention to surfaces because my ankle doesn't work. It kind of is frozen.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of people, when they say easy, that means, well, it's under 2 miles or
Yeah.
something, or it doesn't go up real steep, or, oh, there's no rock scrambling.
Right.
So, okay. So, you know, so we still have more pages of the book.
Yeah, as I said, we go about 500 or 600 yards, and
Oh,
that's
this
about
is
how
great.
far we've gone.
Yeah. No, this is an ideal. It's got, now we've got some kindness rocks over here. And now who does all that?
We actually have 2 Kindness Rocks projects on the trail.
Gives you a goal for moving, and well, let's get to the next
Right,
page.
exactly.
It's great.
And to get outside. You know, kids
Yeah.
are watching TV, they're on video games.
Oh, I know.
This
I
gets
know.
the whole family outside, fresh air.
Oh no, this is wonderful. I mean, it's a little low for me.
Yeah.
It's great for toddlers, and it's great. Anybody can bend down and read it
Right,
pretty much.
Right. But you're right.
it's really
high level
sweet.
for a 4-year-old.
I know. No, very nice. That's great. I like that.
Yeah. It's very the storybook walk is very well done. It's well thought out. it's well publicized. If you're looking for that kind of information, it's readily available on the net.
Well, I have
So-
a post that a woman that did the storybook walks over in Foxborough, Sharon, and North Attleboro. She wrote a post for my website about how to build a story walk, and I get people almost daily coming to my website for that article.
info.
So I think the New Hampshire, the Anne, whatever her name is, who founded this, they must have a link on their website that brings people to my website.
They
So,
probably do.
yeah. No, it's a great idea. So, oh, this is cute. All right, squirrels friends. Okay, it looks like we're almost at the end of this story. Yep, everybody's happy at the end. Oh, yay.
It's designed for children. It's a happy
Okay.
book. All our books tend to be happy books.
Oh, well, of course.
So not too many fairy tales.
Well, you know, that's the thing about fairy tales.
That's right.
Yes, I know. So what got you volunteering to do the trail, Tony?
Let's see. In my career, I was in the computer business, so I was always working in locked rooms with no windows. And I always liked to get outside and get fresh air.
Yeah.
And I try to do that as much as possible. So one of the things I wanted to do when I retired was to be able to do this kind of stuff. And I found the rail trail and I walked it, and I saw that it was a great trail, and I looked into it. And of course, they're always looking for volunteers.
Right.
So I had the time and the skill set to help, and I've been able to help them not only with the physical side of the trail, but in my career, I also was involved with federal grants and grants.
Oh,
So I was
great.
able to help them get some funding.
Wonderful.
We got the funding for the Grove Street entrance about 3 years ago. We just recently have funding for the Spring Street entrance, so we're going to be fixing that.
Oh, nice.
And,
Okay.
that's coming on. This morning of applying for funding from the Cultural Council for the permanent posts may be a really good
Oh,
idea that
yeah.
I want to look into.
Actually, the cultural councils are having a hard time getting applicants right now because they usually do so many performances, and live performance is really difficult
Right.
in the pandemic.
Yeah. we
So
did-
they're kind of low on applicants. I think it might actually be an ideal time. And right now you've got the application just started October 1st,
Right.
and it goes to November 15th. So you've got some time.
we have time, but we need time on the committee.
Well-
all the committees have volunteer members. And
Oh
I'm one of
dear.
the,
Oh dear.
I'm one of the few people that's a retired person on the committee.
Okay.
So the other guys, the other people on the committee tend to have full-time jobs.
Sure.
So it's not
Sure.
always easy. And as you know, you apply for the grant, which is relatively easy to do. You write
It
a couple
is.
of pages.
It is.
The
They're
hard
very-
part
yeah.
and the time-consuming part, especially if it's state or federal money, is then going through the process of
Yeah.
But the state
Yeah.
funding is
No.
it takes a long time.
I think you'll find if you decide to do the cultural council that it's actually a breeze for documentation.
Yeah, I did
It's
the one last year
reasonable. Oh,
for
okay,
the
good.
interpretive signs that are going up on Sunday.
Good.
That's cultural council
Great.
funding.
All right, and
and
now
that was relatively easy to spend the money.
great. All right, we're coming by Trolley Crossing Farm now here, and there's some nice views up ahead. So we want to make sure and get those. I understand there was some pumpkins along the trail that we can get. So why don't we walk
That
up?
may be at the next entrance.
There's a break in the trail where the Galapos of Trolley Crossing Farm actually own on both sides
Right,
of the
right.
trail.
They have
So-
a little farm stand there
Great.
with tomatoes and apples and
Oh,
other
great.
fruit that you can, it's a
Well, let's see if we can get that far, and then we'll probably want to head back.
It's really pretty interesting. In fact, up here I'll point out where there used to be a a train station.
Oh, on right along
Across
right.
right on
Really?
it, right here, and then up ahead I'll show you where there's still some spots where they used to place the rail trails, the actual iron rail,
Yep.
and I'll show you that. And
Yeah.
if we were going east, there's a couple of underpasses for cattle
Oh, I know.
that
I
were built
know.
in when this was originally put
Yes.
in the 1840s.
Yes, with the Crook's Farm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a lot of history here.
Oh, it's wonderful.
I'm not a railroad history buff, but there are people that can talk for hours about this trail.
Really?
Exactly.
Oh gosh,
They're really good.
that's great.
But we've done a couple of historical walks on the trail as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and once a month we schedule a guided walk
Yeah.
where one of us from the committee leads a group of people. Sometimes we get 2 and sometimes we get a dozen people walking on the trail, and we point out the underpass for the cattle. We point out where the train station was. We point out the iron rails.
Now
We talk
tell-
about the time and the events and the milk run.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, tell me about if people wanted to participate. How do they get in touch with you, and how are you doing your meetings right now?
all right. We have a Facebook page that's well maintained. It has all the information in our schedules. We officially meet the first Tuesday of every month, which happens to be next Tuesday. And since the pandemic, all our meetings are on Zoom.
And so how do people get that?
If you go on our Facebook page, you'll see the Zoom information that you need. Just click on that and we'll put you on our mailing list, and you'll be notified when the meeting's taking place, and feel free to participate.
Great.
We have about over 2,000 people that follow us on Facebook.
Wow.
So when I say follow us, we're talking about the Bellingham
Sure.
Franklin portion of the trail.
Right.
So we have a lot of people that are interested. And as you see today, if you look up the trail, there's a lot of people coming.
No, there's
They
people
usually start
ahead
around 10 or 11 in the morning is when it's the busiest time of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you get everything from walkers to joggers to dog walkers to people doing the storybook. We get runners, quite
Yeah.
a few runners,
Yeah.
especially on this portion of the trail because it's flat and straight.
All right. I'm going to move over to the side and let people come by us.
So as I said, we see a lot more usage now than we've seen in the past, and we believe it's primarily because of the pandemic, and people are just
morning.
looking for a reason to get outside, and they're looking for a place that they can go that's safe, flat, easy to park, well marked, and you can't get lost on this trail.
I like that. Yes.
Yeah. Well, there are people who worry about that.
Oh, getting lost.
Yeah.
That's part of with my books is that I know that young families
Yeah.
with children are using them, and so if a trail is poorly marked, I've
Yes.
worked with trail stewards to say, if you want this in the book, you have to mark your trail
Right.
better, because I can't send people out and worry that parents are going to get lost with young children, and that's just not fair.
No.
And so I've been able to have I think a positive effect in that of just encouraging trail stewards to mark their trails more clearly.
Lots of people use this as a nature trail.
Mm-hmm.
We get bird watchers on here.
Yep.
And you'll see people out here with binoculars and books, notebooks.
Okay.
So we get people with horses.
No kidding.
You can
Really?
use the trail for anything except motorized vehicles.
Yep. Right. It's just not safe with all of the dog walkers and children. Somebody's going to be badly hurt.
Exactly.
So
We're coming up to where the old train station used to be, right here on this corner.
you're saying right through here?
Yeah,
through
through here.
the woods?
That's what I was told by the historian
Oh, my
a few years
goodness.
ago when I first
Okay.
started. Right? So you can kind of, if you know where to look, you can kind of still see where it went.
Yeah, yeah, knowing where to look. It's all, you start seeing the landscape differently
Yeah.
when you start learning these things. I find it When people say, oh, history's boring, I say, no, it's all
Oh.
about stories.
I'm a
It's
history
all-
buff.
It's all, well, I majored in history in college and
Ah.
haven't grown tired of it yet. It's all about the stories.
So if you're a history buff, the outdoors is a place to be. I mentioned the tree signs that we're putting up next week.
Yes.
We partnered with the Audubon Society over in Norfolk, Doug
Great.
Williams.
Great.
He came out and helped us identify the trees because you really need to be an expert.
Well, especially if you wait much longer, the leaves are going to be off, and then it gets really hard.
It gets much more difficult,
Yep.
but
Yep.
actually the Audubon Society actually puts on a seminar in the wintertime that says identifying trees in the wintertime.
Necrobotany. Yes.
If you look at this, people ask me all the time, what are these?
Yep.
And you can only really see them now in the summertime.
You're
They're
right.
covered.
I really
But
haven't
you've got
noticed
one here,
those before.
and you've got another one over here. We're put up here for storing the rails,
Yep.
the iron rails for the train.
Yep.
So they would store them on this and to be used as they were putting the line in, or as rails got damaged, they take out the damaged rail, put on a new rail, put the damaged rail here, and then pick it up later.
Oh, what a beautiful day. Well, thank you so much for coming out to meet me on a day like this.
Oh, are you kidding? I'd probably be walking this anyway.
Wow, there's a ton of cars. Look at this.
Yeah, it's as I said, the storybook walk on a day like today is always a big hit.
So that's our story walk and our Finding Easy Walks Wherever You Are walk. For today, we're at the Bellingham Snett on Center Street. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Marjorie Tuner Hollman, author of Finding Easy Walks Wherever You Are. We look forward to the next time, and for now, happy trails.